Here's something men need to understand about women over 50. We don't care about you.
Dating in 2024 for a woman is insane.
Okay, dating really sucks, especially online dating. Story time.
The leftover modern women are upset that they've become invisible to men.
I truly believe being a woman in your early 30s and single is truly the hardest.
So I've been single since 2017. I don't want to be single.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to be single my entire life.
A man in his prime is not bothering with dating. This is what you wish for.
Kindly subscribe to the channel, as it is our sole form of support. Thank you.
Do we want to be in a relationship? We do. Do we want to date people? We do not. So how do we go about fixing that? We cry. No, we don't cry. We put ourselves out there, and then what? Then we cry. No.
To be called a leftover woman after the age of 30, I think is one of the most mean and disrespectful things that you could possibly say to someone. I find it to be repulsive and grotesque, and it doesn't make me feel good about society. It actually just continues to reinforce this idea that our values are outdated, warped, and rooted in ageism. We have a lot of growing up to do, in a sense of a lot of these concepts are immature and just unkind. So I'm not surprised that we have all this suffering and all of this like dysfunction in our relationships and our family dynamics because men disrespect women. That's the truth of it.
All right, I hear what you're saying, but I've got to respectfully disagree. Here's the cold, hard truth. Men often tell women the reality of their situation, but it's not always what they want to hear. Let's talk about the term leftover woman. A controversial label. Sure, but it's worth unpacking. This refers to women who spend their prime years, typically their 20s, living it up, enjoying life, and prioritizing themselves. Nothing wrong with that, right? But here's where it gets tricky. By the time they hit their 30s or 40s, their dating pool shrinks dramatically.
Never chase a woman, and here's why. If you're chasing, it means she's running away. Remember, you never need to chase somebody who wants to be there for you.
Am I getting old? Absolutely. Am I going to start acting my age? No. No, why would you do that? Why? The world sucks enough. Continue to be a shit show.
So I was just placing an order online for some things at Costco, and the house is quiet, and it hit me. As I was ordering and looking at furniture and just looking at stuff that was on the computer, and all I thought was, I wish I had someone to love. I wish I had someone to share my life with, to buy new furniture with.
Here are comments. It is difficult for me too, however, it would be way harder if I had someone on my side that didn't truly care about me. True love is an exception. There's lots of hearts feeling lonely, sweetheart. Maybe it's because most of us didn't think much about the little things that matter. Hit me the other night doing laundry, thought I'd give anything to be folding someone's shirts too. It's lonely. I feel this every day. Same, I wish I had my person. Sometimes it feels like it's never going to happen. Let's talk about the reality of women in their 40s and 50s. But let's be real, beneath the surface, this isn't always the full story. The truth is, many of them feel a deep sense of unfulfillment. This isn't a jab, it's an observation that comes up time and time again.
How old do you have to be then as a woman to be considered a leftover?
I think around 30, like after 30 years old. But if you're after 35 years old, then just you're out of the market. You know, it's more like you don't have to consider about getting married anymore. Just to maybe have a child on your own is the best way for you.
A lot of getting on a dating app, though, is just so nauseating. Because, like, when you're on a dating app and you're in your 40s, it's like shopping in Marshalls. It's like, you know, everything in there is crap. And then you remember, oh, I'm in there. Oh.
The real reason why men date younger women is not because of their physical appearance, their bodies. No, because today with plastic surgery and everything else, you barely know who is 40 and who is 18. Guys date younger women because they're easily manipulated. They're gonna be very happy with a few crumbs because maybe they didn't experience much in the world. They're gonna be just easily impressed. And it's way cheaper to date a younger girl.
Here are comments. Another single old cat lover. Real reason young and fitter beats old and bitter. Nah, just less baggage, less emotional trauma, because younger women don't expect you to raise someone else's kid. Every older woman wishes this was true. Hey, tell yourself whatever helps you get through the day. No, because they got less visitors inside them. You know, when women say things like this, it often comes from a place of fear of competition. Let's call it what it is. These are women trying to shame men and convince them to go against their biological instincts. I think about it. How many times must this woman have faced rejection to reach this level of bitterness? These are often the same women who dated freely in their prime, enjoying the attention and options. But now that time has passed, and men are no longer looking their way. The tune changes. Instead of reflecting on their choices, they direct that frustration outward towards men and younger women. The truth is, men dating younger women isn't some strange phenomenon. It happens for a reason, several reasons, actually. First, men are naturally drawn to beauty and youth. It's hardwired. Second, having kids with a younger woman is biologically safer, which makes sense for guys thinking long-term. And third, let's not forget personal preference. If it's okay for women to prefer older, more established men, why is it a problem when men prefer younger women?
What's it like dating in your 50s?
I would compare it to pushing your tray down the cafeteria line. You know you gotta pick something, but nothing looks good.
Okay, so we all out here dating, and I was just thinking something. Tell me if this sounds like you. I want somebody, but just sometimes. I want to get married, but you stay at your house, and I stay at my house. And then you come over, or I go over there, and we kick it, we have a good time, and all that stuff. But then I go back to my house, or you go back to your house, and we married. Tell me if that sounds like you, because that would be perfect for me, because I don't really want you like that. I want you, but just sometimes.
This right here is a major problem we're seeing today, people dating without any real intentions. And to be honest, if this is how you feel, Mom, then maybe you shouldn't be dating or even thinking about marriage. Marriage isn't just about convenience or having a partner. It's a lifelong commitment that requires understanding, effort, and unity. If you think living in separate houses is a good idea, then it's clear you might not understand what marriage really means. Living apart might sound like a modern arrangement, but let's be real, it comes with risks. The possibility of infidelity skyrockets when married couples aren't sharing the same home, let alone building a shared life. Trust would have to be practically unshakable. And let's face it, in today's world, that's a rare find.
This is a question for the men out there. TM Rister writes, ask any man that's 50, would he rather be with a 30-year-old or the 55-year-old? 98% would say the 30-year-old. That's a fact. I'm very curious. It doesn't bother me either way, but I'd love to know. So men out there that are over 50, would you purposely choose or only want a woman, if you could choose any mate, would it be a woman 30 if you're at least 50 years old? What say you?
Feminism's gone way too far, okay? Men can't even look in the same direction for too long at the gym because they're terrified someone's recording them and then blast them all over the internet later on. Can't ask for a phone number because you might also look like a creep. Really can't even exist at this point without apologizing, and I'm tired of it because they're the same women that complain that no man talks to them or approaches them. You know what? You want him to go up to you? You have to go up to him at this point because that's the reality you've all created.
Feminism is just sexism towards men. At this point, honestly, a home gym is the way to go. It's the best way to avoid all these issues at the gym.
There's a guy who I blocked because he called me a leftover woman. He made another account and he found me and he called me a leftover woman again. What's it like being in love with me?
What makes a woman invisible to a guy? Basically, it's an energy and a belief. If you believe that you are not attracted to guys, that nobody will notice you, you exude a subtle energy that people pick up on and honor it by ignoring you. What I do with people is called changing your script. And so if we can start getting you to understand and believe that you are irresistible, that you are worthy of any guy, your energy shifts. There's a 5-step process you could do to get there. Identify the bad belief about yourself, like I'm invisible, write how you want to be perceived. I'm irresistible. You can't see past me. You notice me. And then don it like a cape. And keep adjusting it as you go. If you can do that, all of a sudden you will never be ignored again. Try it. Sending you love for being noticed as you should.
Let me stop you right there, because everything this woman just said is completely off the mark. It has nothing to do with energy or some magical belief system. According to her logic, if a woman believes she's irresistible, she can attract any man she wants. Let's be real, that's not how the world works. It's like saying a woman who's a solid 2 thinks she can date a billionaire who's a 10 just because she believes in herself. At some point, it stops being confidence and starts being straight up
Women listen to this. Status. Most men are invisible to women. Most women are not invisible to men. And you know that. Women are extremely picky, which is why you have guys on these dating apps that can't get anywhere. They're not getting any swipes. They're getting aggravated. This is the culture of the modern world, right? Dating apps. Well, guys are on there and they're not getting anywhere. And you've got women who are a 6, 5, a 4, maybe a 4, trying to amp themselves up to look like a 6 with all the makeup and the hair extensions and all that stuff. And they're getting swipes like crazy. So women have a really hard time understanding the lack of attention that most men get. They have a really hard time empathizing with the reality that guys, many guys in the modern world, they're sexless, they're not having sex, they're not getting dates, they're not getting attention. When women at their very same level walk down the street, put on a short dress, do whatever, and they get a ton of attention. It's not the same.
In China, if you're over 25, you are expired in the dating market. You are called a 剩女, leftover woman.
A what?
A leftover woman. After 25, you can't be picky anymore. It's like Leonardo DiCaprio's girlfriend. Imagine China is Leonardo DiCaprio.
China is Leo.
The whole China is Leo.
I dare you to say this in America. If you go up to American girls and say, you're 25, it's dying.
You are already done for Leo.
They would hate that policy.
They do. In China, they do that.
How come you never say anything when they come up with the 25? Why don't you say that's how we do it in China?
Exactly. I wanted to do that. Let me talk about it. I think Leo is just following Chinese culture. Maybe he eat too much dim sum. He went to Mr. Chow too many times. He just have the Chinese standard. You're over 25, you're expired.
You know what? This is actually a pretty solid mentality to adopt, because it forces people to take relationships seriously. And honestly, it's something that's sorely missing in today's dating culture, especially in the West. The truth is, a lot of women and men, to be fair, are in denial. They refuse to acknowledge the importance of dating with clear intentions. Instead, it's all about casual flings, playing games, and ghosting. But imagine if that mindset changed.
No, I just need you to stop being nice to me unless you're gonna marry me after.
All of my Gen X single ladies, I just turned 53 and was in Europe. I've been single for years. I can't get arrested in the United States. I haven't had a date and I can't even tell you how long. It's just weird how we're obsessed with age, and at 53, it's like I'm invisible. Not in Europe. Whatever you do, if you are a single woman over the age of 50, get your butts to Europe. Go anywhere in Europe. I was in Copenhagen, I was in Paris, I was in Milan, Italy. Oh my God. I mean, I felt alive again. Men were gentlemen. They were looking, they were saying, they were flirting. Their flirt game is solid. I felt like I was in my 20s again. It was amazing. They just don't have an issue with age over there. They love older women. They respect older women. Older women are sexy to them. It's so different here. It's like we're invisible over a certain age. Not over there. Not to mention they dress better, they smell better, and they're way more cultured. And sexy accents. It was the ultimate ego boost vacation.
I don't know how accurate this is, but I've been hearing women calling themselves passport sis, and honestly, it doesn't even make sense. Here's why. The whole passport bro movement is about men traveling overseas to find wives who align with their values and who are interested in serious relationships. But these women who are now calling themselves passport sis are traveling to places like Europe, not to find real connections, but to get validation. They're seeking attention because they feel invisible to men in their own countries. And that's a big difference.
I told y'all that women should be dating 2 to 3 men, and the amount of women that wrote me saying 2 to 3, oh my God, that's exhausting, that's tiring, 2 to 3, hell, I can't even find one. Where you find one at? And I'm so so concerned for y'all because I'm trying to figure out why are y'all so exhausted. You should be choosing up, baby. It's not a man on this earth that is exhausting me. It's not one man that I'm dating that it is laborious, okay, to date him, all right? You have to choose up. You should be choosing up financially, period. You should be choosing up an emotional maturity. You should be choosing up in vibes and quality of life. If anything, nothing should be happening, but life is getting better for you. Those bags that you're carrying, it should be less for you to do, baby. I'm not understanding why y'all truth is I'm tired. What is going on? Choose up, my love. Everything should be increasing.
Here are comments. Dating is fun for me. These 2-week relationships be lit, free food trips, gifts, I'm having a ball. I'm juggling for right now draft season. You're giving horrible advice to these women. No man with respect for himself is taking a woman serious knowing she's dating multiple men. Let's be real, fellas, dating has become a game for a lot of these modern women. And guess what? You're not the player. You're just the tool. The tool funding their lifestyle. The truth is, the worst advice you'll get always comes from single, unmarried, and bitter women. Think about it, you'll rarely ever hear a woman who's actually married giving advice like this. Why? Because they understand the value of real commitment, not playing games or using people for material gain.
It happens to be the case that men are attracted to younger women for a myriad of reasons. And when I say younger women, I mean women, adult women from 18 and up, okay? 18, let's say 18 to 25. They've done studies on this. They ask men of all ages, the peak attractiveness that they see in women is between the age of like 20 and 21. 20 and 22 is what men find the most physically attractive, that age range. It's kind of funny, like, men, we don't shame women for y'all preferences. You want a guy who's confident, rich, funny, charismatic, all these things, right? But men, we have different preferences than you guys do.
What's the age range on the men that you're talking about from this observation?
From 18 to 60. Men prefer, yes, men find the most, of the women that they find the most attractive, it's between 20 and 22.
Here are comments. 20 and 221. 825 is a female's reproductive peak, and men can sense that it's instinct. That doesn't mean every man wants a woman that age that is just peak physical attractiveness. There are other things for a partner, because women older than that can have massive body count. Physical attraction and potential partner can be two different things. Natural instinct is to choose the most fertile. True men of all ages prefer younger women 18 to 25. What's wrong with that? I'm sure women feel the same way.
Hitting the wall versus danger zone. So let's look at danger zone first. Ladies, if you're turning 27 and you're unmarried, you're crossing into the danger zone. The danger zone is a population of leftover women, typically ages 27 to 35-year-old women who couldn't make the cut. No ring, no husband, and no family household. Women who entered the dating market at 18. And from 18 to 27, you spent 9 years auditioning to be a wife. And you failed. A few things took place. During this time frame, you racked up a body count, no ring. You racked up babies, no ring. You racked up pounds. And your sexual marketplace value started to decrease during your prime years. You racked up pounds before 18 because your parents overfed you and never put you in team sports. Or you were just ugly and didn't improve in other areas of your appearance to compensate for your mug. You spent your entire SMV window pursuing independence. Congratulations, you just forfeited your power to swipe left and right. You invested all of your SMV into the Pookie and Ray Rays. So now you're crossing into the danger zone with bastards, looking for a man to play stepdaddy. So now you gotta be punctual and on a swivel for any man that shows interest. But your choosy days are gone. Okay, now hitting the wall. Typically, time has completely exhausted all of your value. You're barely an option. You're a stepmother at best. Your natural attraction has completely depleted, and artificial beauty enhancement is the only way you can be noticed. You're beginning to sag. You don't have any energy or motivation to keep yourself up so you can be noticed. You can only target gullible young men. Your personality and character can no longer continue to compensate for your faded beauty. You begin to use words like men are all dogs. You lie about getting attention from men to mask your own insecurity. You're forced to become a cougar. You're in denial, and the Bible has become your husband.